Hey, what's going on? I'd like to welcome you to Water Your Soil. So this video right here, this video is for everyone who looks at interest rates and APR when they go and apply for a credit card. This video is gonna be about how to make interest irrelevant for your credit card. You wanna watch this video, you wanna check it out. There is a way to make interest irrelevant, and I'm gonna explain it in this video, so let's get into it. You know, it's funny because I was watching a commercial the other day and it was a credit card commercial. I can't remember which credit card it was, but it was a credit card commercial. And on the credit card commercial, they were saying, oh, we can start you off with a 16% APR interest rate. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, you know, 16% is still pretty high. You know, these interest rates on credit cards and for credit cards usually range from 13% to around 25, sometimes even higher than that, but they're usually in that range. They usually fall between that range, between that 13% range and that 25 or so range. And if you ask me, that's pretty high, especially if you are someone who does a lot of spending, like some people do. You know, some people, they just go and they spend and they spend. They look at a credit card as like a gift card, and I really don't understand the mentality behind that. I do actually. Some people, they don't know how to use credit cards the correct way, but spending money on your credit card like it's a gift card can and usually will get you in trouble, and it leads to credit card debt more often than not. So when I hear about interest rates and things like that, I never pay them any attention when it comes to credit cards. You know, I'll go and I'll consider applying for a new credit card, and the last thing that I pay attention to when applying for that new credit card is interest in the APR. And I know some people probably hear me say that and they're like, yo, what's wrong with you? Why wouldn't you care about your interest rate? Because, you know, if your interest rate is high, you're gonna end up paying more money. Well, I have news for you if you are wondering that. I'm not paying them any extra money because I don't pay interest. And that's what this video is gonna be about, how to avoid paying interest. There is a way how to avoid paying that APR on your credit cards. Now, I know some people, especially people who are subscribers of this channel, I'm sure my subscribers are aware of how you can avoid paying interest on a credit card. If you're watching this, I advise, you know, majority or all of you to avoid it if you can avoid it. Now, one thing that lets me know whether or not someone is using a credit card the correct way is whether or not they're paying interest. Because if you're paying interest, that lets me know that you have a balance that you're rolling over. So if you're rolling over a balance, in my opinion, you're not using credit cards the correct way, because you're technically just giving the credit card companies extra money, and you don't want to do that, although some people do. It goes back to what I said previously as far as, you know, some people actually using credit cards like they're gift cards. So I'm not into paying interest, and the reason why I'm not into paying interest because who wants to give away, you know, money to credit card companies and they already have money? I'd rather give them money in regards to what I spend on my credit card, which I have to pay off every month, and also I'd rather get points back and cash back in return and get money back from them instead of giving them money with interest. So the way that you can avoid paying interest is simply not carrying over your balances. Now, that takes some discipline. You know, it takes a lot of discipline. One thing that can help you not carry over balance is using utilization. Now, utilization is the percentage of how much you use of your credit limit. Now, over here at Water Your Soil, I tell everyone, all of my subscribers, to keep their utilization under 10%. And actually, to go a step further, I would prefer you have your utilization at the lowest percentage as possible. No, you don't want it at zero, because you do have to spend some money and show that you are capable of spending money and paying it off. So you don't want your utilization at zero. 1%, that's pretty good. 2%, that's good. The lower the better in regards to utilization. So you want to keep your utilization low. So utilization will actually help you in regards to not carrying over balances. Why? Because you're usually not spending a lot of money if you're keeping your utilization low, unless you have a very high credit limit. And I mean a very high credit limit where you're spending like $10,000 a month because you're keeping your utilization at 10% or below, but you have $100,000 credit limit. Now, those cases are not on average. The average person does not have a $100,000 credit limit, So if you don't have a high credit limit like that, utilization will help you in regards to maintaining a low balance that you are capable and able to pay off every month. And as I stated, avoiding having to pay that APR and that interest, it helps big time. It keeps money in your pocket, and it helps you avoid paying your credit card company extra money. Because to be truthfully honest with you, they want you to pay extra money. And the reason why they want you to pay extra money and pay that interest, because that's how they get their money. Now, I'm sure they'll offer you different programs where they'll offer you, hey, we'll give you a low APR for 3 months, or we'll give you a low APR for 6 months. But it's up to you to use your own discretion and realize that carrying over a balance is not a good thing, especially if the interest and APR on that account is not 0%. Now, if it's 0% and it's 0% for like the first 12 months of you having the card, then hey, by all means, take advantage of that. And yeah, you pretty much can roll over your balance because you don't have to pay any interest. But remember, we still have to keep in mind utilization, and you also have to keep in mind your credit score, because the goal is to help your credit score. It's different than, I just don't want to pay interest. You will have to also keep in mind your credit score, because around here at Water Your Soil, things are pretty much centered around personal credit, making sure your credit score is right. So it all ties in together as far as using credit cards the correct way and maintaining and building up your credit score. They all tie in together, but you usually need one in order to have success with the other. They usually work, simultaneously together. So you want to make sure that you are paying off whatever you spend. Your statement balance that you receive every month, make sure you're paying that statement balance off in full if you can. I know we're going through economic hardships right now, so if you can, pay off your balance every month, and if you can't, at least try to keep your balance low. That way you don't have a high balance, because as I stated earlier, that will have a negative impact on your credit score, and you don't want that. But anyways, this is Water Your Soil. I appreciate you all for stopping by and watching this video about how you can remove interest and make interest basically irrelevant on your credit cards. I appreciate you all for watching. Wait. Before you leave, be sure to check out the description box below. That way you can have all the credit resources from Water Your Soil. Also, be sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button as well, all right?